Well, I wanted to get started at 8, so it's a minute early, but I don't care. So, last time, we finished off the Four Lords, did a seasonal event, all that fun stuff. I don't have my Lama. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? No! I'm opening up all the wrong things. Hey! Welcome, welcome. Good morning. Good morning, Kai. So, finish off Four Lords. Did the seasonal thing. Hell, last stream I even got through my favorite segment of Ultra Kill, just in general. Well, narratively, I guess, because the gameplay is all good, right? But yeah. So that's all done. So I can finally get to working through the post MSQ, and I'll get right into that. But a small note is that my plans for continuing are completely in flux, because it occurred to me that depending on where part 3 of the post MSQ ends, it might clear all of the stuff that I think there's any real risk of being spoiled in either of the raid things. So if part 3 ends at, or roughly at, where I think it ends, I am going to divert from the MSQ again to do the Evilise raids and the Omega raids. And then hopefully I can apply the exact same standard to Shadowbringers, so I can regain some degree of consistency. Because I know it should work for Endwalker. Endwalker stuff, the raids, both of them, don't really spoil anything once you're past the halfway point of the patches. I hope. So, we'll find out, and we'll deal with it as we get there. So, anyway. I wonder if Nago would have said anything different. Probably should have said
Come
that.
to see how we're getting on.
Starting strong, already voiced. Let's go. Oh.
We've made good progress.
Twitch
since we took
Mobile,
back Ala
man.
Mhigo.
Twitch
There's one
Mobile.
big issue we still
You would
have to
think
address.
the Megacorp Amazon
Leadership.
would be able to make a
The Domans
functioning
had Lord
mobile app,
Hien
right?
ready and willing to take the throne, but we've got no one like that here. Theodoric was our last ruler, and he wasn't called the Mad King for nothing.
Yeah.
Suffice it to say,
Twitch-
our people have had their fill of
Twitch
kings,
Mobile is just...
which means
it's,
we
it's,
need to find a new way
extremely
forward.
jank.
If only it were that easy. Everyone and his uncle has an opinion.
Oh shit, I bumped the mic.
For
I
the
plugged
time
in my
being,
phone, I'm
we're
sorry
just
you heard
going
that.
to have to keep leaning on General Aldin and the Alliance for support, and see if we can't find a solution together. Something tells me we're going to be hosting a lot of meetings in the near future. But if that's what it takes, I'm ready to talk till my jaw aches.
Oh yay, lease and diplomacy. I'm sure this will go very well.
The reach is yours, Nago. Don't do anything I wouldn't.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Ah, there you are. I've been searching all over for you. Now, don't worry, it's nothing bad. That said, this might not be the best place to talk. Will you join me?
Arnvold's got a adventure for us.
I'll get to the point. Might you be interested in a spot of adventure? After all, we were adventurers before we were scions, were we not? After routing the Imperials and liberating Ala Mhigo, I reckon we've earned a bit of respite, don't you? And what better way to spend it than by returning to our roots? So, what say you? Shall we call on Alphino and go adventuring?
It's what we do, I suppose. I really do enjoy these mini arcs of the Warrior of Light returning to their roots. Right then, let's go find Master Livier. Actually, leave that to me. I want you fresh for our little adventure. Wait for us by the Aetheryte, and we'll be along shortly. See you there. Of course, it wouldn't deposit me close to one of the mini Aetherites. You know what? Hey, there we go. Welcome back. I hope the website actually functions. My preview's fine, so that gives me some hope. This one. Yeah, it really can't help that I stream it 1080. I would not be terribly shocked if the 1080 makes it a little difficult for phones. But can we get three voiced cutscenes? It was two, because there wasn't a break. 2 voiced cutscenes back to back. No such luck. Caught it. Greetings, Arntals. It would seem we are to accompany our involved on some manner of escapade. Have you any idea what we've gotten ourselves into? Not a single one. Allow me to explain. It'll be something of a history lesson, but I'll try to be brief. No snoring, if you please. Now, the events I would speak of occurred before the occupation, back when Ala Mhigo was still a monarchy and Theodoric sat on the throne. A uniquely brutal despot by all accounts. That he was. The King of Ruin suffered no rivals, real or imagined, and his dispute with the monks of the Fist ended with Rogger's Reach being burned to the ground. In the latter years of his rule, he was seized by the unshakable belief that unseen forces were conspiring to steal his crown, and so he ordered that every soul with a claim to the throne be executed, including his own family. The wealth of the poor sods he put to death became the property of the king, and it's said that these royal treasures were hoarded somewhere in the palace. Thus was born the legend of the Mad King's Trove. I believe I see the direction our adventure is to take. I assume you have in mind to unearth this hidden bounty. You assume correctly. And would I also be correct in assuming that this legend is widely known? Others must surely have gone in search of your prize, tempting as it seems. Well, of course, we won't be the first to make the attempt. Following Ala Mhigo's liberation, more than a few eager soldiers turned the palace upside down in hopes of claiming an easy fortune. But even after scouring every room from dawn till dusk, they uncovered not a single coin. Their gold lust drained away as quickly as it had come, and the legend of the Mad King's Trove remains simply that, a legend. But I see you have no intention of letting the story end there. What self-respecting adventurer would? Imagine, the three of us delving into a decades-old mystery. Tell me the thought doesn't set your heart to racing. You're gonna need 4, if it's like a dungeon or something, like, you know. Alphino can heal, but you can tank. We're a downy at DPS. This is where you get the box emote? I thought you got it later, or from the side quest. I forgot that was a MSQ. If anyone can find the box emote, I'm pretty sure I've done it before. Just makes you punch air. Yeah. There's been a lot of emotes I'm getting from places that I didn't expect. Like the Four Lords gives you this emote. I did not think that that's where that came from. I mean, we got the step dance. I don't think any of the emotes very closely resemble square dancing, though. But I have not seen square dancing in a long time, so my reference points are kinda... The news of Doma and Ala Mhigo's liberation has kindled the flames of revolution in every corner of the Empire. I hear the imperial province of Dalmasca has already risen up in rebellion. I'll get to that later, Elfino. Which means the Garleans must surely have their hands full. What better time, actually, Bostra, than now to indulge in such a diversion? Tell us, Arnvald, have we any clues as to where we might begin our search? Well, judging by how the other treasure hunters fared, nosing about the palace isn't going to get us anywhere, so we'll probably need to ask around. Would that be another way of saying no? Yes. I see. In that case, I shall pay a visit to the Allied archivists and request access to the records seized by the Imperials, from the Imperials. The Garleans are meticulous about such things. They uncovered the trove during their occupation. The event is certain to have been recorded. In the meantime, the two of you can track down those who worked as palace servants and officials in Theodric's day. Given that they would have been at least 20 at the time, you will be looking for people who have seen 40 summers or more. Anything they can tell you about the king and his bloody deeds may prove useful, so be sure to listen well. Arnvold, pray try your luck in the fringes and the peaks, whilst Arntel makes the rounds in the Ala Mhigo quarter. Ha, and there I was thinking I was the party leader. Not that I mind, of course. Let's be about it, eh? We can meet afterwards at Guilebard's Gate. Guile? I think Guilebard's is more accurate. Hope it is anyway. Teleport. We got the, back on topic of emotes, we got the victory emote. I knew you got the victory emote from the MSQ, but I thought you got it all the way back in like Heavensward. I was a little surprised to see that pop up during like mid StormBlood. In the palace? No, not me, lad. Surely you've heard the stories of the Mad King. He used to hold the public executions up on the divine audience. Anyone, and I mean anyone, suspected of conspiring against the crown was flung from the top of those steps. Suffice it to say that I stayed as far away from the palace as I could. Anything else to say? Nope. You want to hear an old maid's stories, do you? Well, most of what I know of the Mad King is common knowledge. We'd only see his royal majesty when he deigned to attend the executions he'd ordered, and after a while, even watching his enemies die wasn't enough to coax him out of hiding. They say he started seeing assassins in every shadow and wouldn't set foot outside of the palace walls. I was offered work there as a royal servant once, but the mere thought of it left me in a cold sweat. I'm going to assume you're the same. I was never desperate enough to accept a job at the palace. No amount of coin is worth your life. It is eerily quiet without the music. Even the wind is distant. There it is. Who are you? Living's hard enough as it is. That's very interesting. I served at the pleasure of King Theodric, and I lived to tell the tale. One of the palace guards I was. Truth be told, it was a dark chapter in my life, and one I'd sooner forget. Hardly a night went by when we didn't hear blood-curdling screams echoing from the inner chambers, which, of course, we were under orders to ignore. So we'd stand still as statues, trying not to imagine what horrors were unfolding within. If you are hell's-bent on finding out what happened in the palace, head down the street here and ask old Arnold. He was the king's head scribe. You'll find Arnold down the way. If any man was privy to the king's secrets, it was him. Arnold? Maybe it is like Arnold, and it's just an extremely archaic spelling. Or a modern one, and I just can't fucking read. Yeah, I'm looking it up. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Arnold. Pronunciation. It is Arnold. It's just an old spelling of Arnold. Hello, Arnold. Yes, I am Arnold. What do you want with me? You would have me dredge up some decidedly unsavory memories. Yet, if Ala Mhigo is to move forward, we must needs acknowledge the misdeeds of the past. Very well, I shall tell you what I remember. I take it you know of Theodoric's paranoia and the public executions of his kinsmen. Those were terrible enough, but in his last days, the king's fevered mind settled upon an even grislier method of disposal, which only a chosen few were unfortunate enough to witness. His Majesty ordered the court thaumaturge to unleash a vile curse upon the remaining members of the royal family, a magic which transformed them into fiends of hideous aspect. The resulting monstrosities were then cast into the darkness below the palace. Even now, my sleep is troubled by nightmares. If others of Theodoric's blood were prone to share his madness, then mayhap it is a kindness that the monarchy ended with him. It is my hope that Ala Mhigo shall never again suffer the likes of the King of Ruin, which we forget at our peril. Can I? Nope. Oh, I'm not even at the right stairs, I don't think, anyway. I would check, but I do not feel like toggling out. Hello, I have a notification. Hi there. No, I'm good. No, thank you. I'm good. I don't need it. I can do without Twitter. My monthly check-ins on the desktop app are more than enough for me. I can mount up in this place, can't I? The city-like environs got me trained to just not even bother trying. Ah, excellent timing as ever. We have but this moment returned from our own intelligence-gathering efforts. Since we're all here, why don't we share what we've learned? Allow me to begin, then. As promised, I scoured the Imperial records for any mention of fantastic treasures and found precisely none. It is just possible, I suppose, that a corrupt official deliberately hid the fact of the trove's discovery, hoping to enrich himself, but I find it rather unlikely that so valuable a find would stay secret for long. I conclude that our prize either does not exist, or that the Imperials somehow overlooked it. But what if you are intel? Were your investigations any more fruitful? It's under the palace. Turned into monsters? And what could he mean by this darkness beneath the palace, I wonder? I met an old man in Ala Mhigo who spoke of the palace's subterranean prison, but he said naught of cursed abominations. The Imperial archives were also silent on the subject of fiends inside the palace grounds. Could this scribe fellow have been spinning him a yarn, do you think? Did you believe him, Arentel? Absolutely. His fear seemed genuine. If he was afraid, that does lend credence to the tale, though I'm not sure how that helps us in our search. Do not be so hasty. Arnold's anecdote may well have told us where the trove is hidden, but ere I share my theory, there is another matter I would clarify. Arnold, you spoke of light-hearted adventure, but I sense a deeper motive for this expedition. Why are you so intent on finding this treasure? It wasn't all pretense, I swear it, but you're right. My father was in the Imperial Army, a man of Garlean blood. I trust you know what I mean when I say that my Ala Mhigan mother did not welcome my arrival. As I grew, she would check my brow over and over, convinced that a spot on my skin was an emerging third eye, like the kind you see in pureblood Garleans. My mother did not care for this taunting reminder of my heritage, and took up a knife. War paint serves to cover the scar. In the end, she turned me out into the street, and I was left to haunt the alleyways of Ala Mhigo, a feral child who got what he needed through begging, cunning, or worse. The best I can say about the years that followed is that I survived, but I hated the animal I'd become. Eventually, I left the city behind me and joined a group of refugees bound for the other side of the wall. It was then that I turned to adventuring, and that road led me into the company of the Scions. I tell you this so that you understand. I know all too well what poverty and hunger can do to a person. I drew steel on ordinary folk for a measly crust of bread. With Theodric's gold, I could spare my countrymen the shame of living like that. Thank you, Arnvold, and I apologize. That cannot have been pleasant to recall, but I felt it best to be clear in our intentions. Well, Arntel, are you content to surrender the treasure to Arnville's noble cause and claim the thrill of adventure as your reward? I am already loaded, dude. Like, I don't know how much gil, like, you know, what is like a lot of gil lore-wise, but like, I'm pretty sure I'm like, I could maybe like bribe a syndicate member. That's how much gil I got on me. Then I should be glad to tell you my theory on the resting place of the Mad King's Trove, if you're minded to hear it. I am endlessly curious, like, how much is a lot of gil in the context of the world, and part of me thinks that we don't know? Oh yeah, no. It's nothing. There are people out there, and there are people out there. Oh yeah, no. So like in the context of the world. So like the main thing I think about. So no. So like there are people who have reached the gil cap. The gil cap. They have 999,999,999 gil. Not on their person, but on their person, on their first, second, third, fourth, and fifth retainers. Maxed out gil. Multiple billions of gil, right? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I am a speck of dust with my, like, I think I'm at, like, 13 again. 13 million. I am a speck of dust compared to these people. It's amazing. But no, like, so, like, what I mean by in the context of the world, right, is, the main thing I think about is, in Guild Wars 2, which is another MMO that I used to play a long time. There's a background NPC dialogue in one of the cities where one of the characters brings up, oh, I spent 500 gold on XYZ. And gold is the highest tier of currency in Guild Wars because it goes copper, silver, gold. It's a lot like it's a lot like how the coinage works in D&D. And sometimes MMOs inherit that tier of or tiering of currency, right? Anyway, so what that dialogue does for Guild Wars is it gives you context for how much gold is a fairly normal amount for some person to have, right? And what the dialogue means is that 500 gold is enough for a merchant to transport their goods across distance. Okay, so I only have 15 gold. I'm poor as shit. And like in Guild Wars, because of that context, you can basically come to the conclusion that the main character, even the richest player character is still pretty poor compared to a lot of characters, like NPCs in Guild Wars 2. Like you get thousands and thousands of gold, and the majority of wealthy characters in Guild Wars 2 have dramatically more money than you do. Regardless, but insofar as I've found, there is only one instance in the MSQ at any rate, and my memory for it coming up in side quests is a little fuzzy. There's only one instance in the MSQ, and microscopic spoiler, because I'm going to give zero context about it. It's when a character in Endwalker buys a string to tie their hair for 15,000. And I may be saying it wrong. I believe it is this much. So 15,000 gil to buy what is ostensibly a cord to tie their hair back with. And that is seen as an outrageous price. It is insane. It is such an incredible waste of money. So that's like the only bit of money context I have. So 15,000 is really expensive for a hair tie. Okay. So like, you know, I'm endlessly curious. I hope deep in my heart that there's some dialogue somewhere that expands on it in some way where I can begin extrapolating. But then it's also entirely possible that it isn't internally consistent. So, eh. Sorry. Well, out with it. What's this theory of yours? Actually, mayhap it would be better if we first adjourned to a more suitable location. In case a rival treasure hunter overhears our plans, you mean? Good thinking. That was not exactly the reason, but 'tis certainly a valid concern. Let us reconvene on the southern edge of Loch Seld. Why am I using the gate? I could have flown over it. Oh, I'm back. No way. Is that the fate I think it is? It is not. Anyway. There's a fate. Actually, I think it has to be raining for it to spawn. There's a fate that spawns in this general area that, if you farm, gives you the whore on a item that lets you get the Ixion mount. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I clicked off my game. But I already have the Ixion mount, so it's kind of irrelevant either way. Thank you, Moogle Treasure Trove. Come now, Alphino, don't leave us in suspense. Let's hear this theory of yours. Forgive me, it was not my intention to draw out proceedings. I simply wished to have the lock in sight while I explained things. Prior to the Great Flood of the sixth Umbral Calamity, the salt lakes you see before you were yet dry ravines. And this, believe it or not, was the site of the ancient city of Scala, which rose and fell during the 5th Astral Era. From what we know of the period, the city was already deserted by the time the waters began to rise, having been all but destroyed by war, yet its ruins remain to this day at the bottom of Loch Seld. It is my belief that the darkness beneath the palace, mentioned by Theodoric's former scribe, was not a reference to the prison, but to a place still further below the ruins of Scala. I further surmise that the Mad King's unfortunate kinsmen were cast down there not simply out of a desire to punish them, but to discourage exploration. Theodoric wanted to keep the ruins secure. Wait, you're saying that they were meant to guard the Mad King's trove? Precisely, and since we know the court thaumaturge was involved, we can safely assume that any entrance into the old city will have been magically concealed. I alt-tabbed. Which would explain how a legion of Imperial soldiers and the gods know how many Ala Mhigans never found a trace of the trove. We, however, have certain advantages, which they did not enjoy. Our intel would be so good as to swim down to the bottom of the loch and search for an underwater route into the ruins. While you do that, Armvold and I will seek out an ensconced portal within the palace. Wait, no, I didn't read that, right? Wait, it wasn't ensconced. Wait a minute. Is that enscrolled? Enscrolled? Hang on.
Ensorcel.
Ensorcel. Past tense ensorcelled? Enchant. Fascinate. Interesting. New word unlocked. I'm going to use it. Anyway. I've always loved these, like this area. It's so interesting. Unironically makes me kind of want an arc where you, like, go back in time so you can see some of these ancient empires in their heyday. Get off the dragon. I would love to take a stroll through, like, peak Alag, right? Or, like, visit Amdapor before the War of the Magi. You discover a passage that appears to lead under the palace foundations. Press on and find out where it goes. But I don't think they will do that for a handful of reasons. It'd be cool though. Oh. What? What does it want me to do? Oh, I see now. The entrance was hiding the sparkles. You come to a worn stone door standing temptingly ajar. It would appear to have found. You have found an entrance into the subterranean ruins. Link Pearl? Arntel, it's Alphino. We have searched the prison beneath the palace and found a teleportation portal concealed by enchantments. The markings indicate it leads to an underground cavern. What news on your end? You found a door. It is ajar. And you believe it leads into the ruins, then I dare say we will be able to meet within. Go on and head through the door. By the way, I took the liberty of calling on a friend for help. I guarantee she's both dependable and discreet. We'll see you soon. Who could that be? I actually don't recall. I'm gonna guess it's either Alize or Kryl. I do not remember at all. I guess it could also be Lys? Lys would make sense, given what we intended to do with it. I'm not gonna bother with Ultra Kill. This queue shouldn't take too long. I hope. I really hope. If we hit like 10 minutes, my hand will be forced. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna mess around with my idle game. Right, that's good. So. I wonder when the live. I think the live letter for Dawn Trail said that's when they're gonna go over a lot of the final details, and they'll give us our first real look at the new jobs. Outside of those like mini trailers we got from FanFest, I really want more information on how Viper and Pictomancer are gonna work. Because I do worry that Viper might be a clone of Reaper, and their dual sword phase, or their dual sword phase, is just gonna be a clone of the Reapers in Shroud with different named moves and animations. And then I'm endlessly curious how Pictomancer's gonna work, right? I don't know. I'm gonna stick to my casting dancer idea until I'm shown otherwise. Because like, I feel like that's a. I feel like that's a sub-role that Caster doesn't really have right now. Like, Red Mage has elements of it, but, yeah. Although, like, at the same time, it might just be, like, the theme of physical range, come to think of it, because Bard is in that same kind of, like, space. A lot of what Bard does is primarily in the interest of buffing party members. I don't know. And then the Machinist is just the odd one out with all of Machinist's greedy DPS. I don't know. And I guess, I don't think melee DPS has a support job either, so who knows. Which, honestly, it probably should. I think it'd be neat if all the, if all 5 sub-roles had a, like, distinct, greedy, support, and then the rest would be, like, balanced, right? Like, between those two, at any rate. Those are 2 extremes. Because, like, Tank has it, where, Dark Knight is very greedy. Most of what Dark Knight does is for itself. Not all, but most. Then you have, like, Paladin, where it has a greater number of tools that are primarily meant to just aid. I'm tentatively interested in Pictomancer. I was a little bit underwhelmed by how the abilities looked, but again, they're not gonna show the really interesting stuff in that trailer. I just think that it looks a little too level 30 Conjurer for me right now. I want to see the flashier shit they get at like level 70. But then, you know, it might just not be a very flashy job. Like, we'll look at Monk. Most of Monk's abilities aren't really that extravagant. Outside of, like, the Phoenix Punch thing. And Phantom Rush, I guess. So, maybe it'll just be a slightly more grounded in appearance job. You lied to me. It's over 5 minutes now. Can I repair stuff in the underwater? I can. Cool. I'm gonna go sit in, I'm gonna go wander the Ala Mhigo quarter. And hopefully this pops soon. In fairness, it is, like 9 in the morning, and peak hours aren't generally until like 10, 11, so eh. At least I'm not doing this on Dynamis, because if I was queuing on Dynamis, then I'd be fucked. I would literally, I may as well just complete the entirety of Ultra Kill twice before this thing goes. I don't know, like, you know, I will never defend the queue times on Dynamis, but Dynamis does have the interesting anomaly where, because everyone is trying to get faster queues on Dynamis, everyone's queuing as tanks or healers. So, weirdly enough, queuing as DPS on Dynamis generally gives you the fastest queue times. But it's a difference between generally a difference between a 15-minute queue and a like 30-minute queue. And God forbid you want to queue for you want to queue for like the 90 roulette. What is Olo? Now I'm curious. I do not recognize that term or acronym. I apologize. Q popped though. Magic. Love to see it. If this other DPS will say, if this other DPS will say yes, that is. Please. Please? Oh. Well, back to you. Hey! It's a roller coaster. I enjoy this dungeon. It's pretty good. The last boss is solid. It's got a... No, it's a decent overall, actually. Come to think of it. The second boss is a fun Easter egg that we're not going to have any chance of seeing. I think it just clicked. I understand what you said. Dang, maybe I don't know. Did we just sing it thing? Gunblade is I had to guess it's the 80 relic? Nope, it's the Rublex. We're not even in the ballpark is where you get that from. Well, besides Mario. I'm not gonna have third eye up. Uh-oh. Oh, I wasted my PI code. Oh well. I'll get it back before the next boss fight as well. It's about all that matters. The real question is, will this tank do the full pull? Not this one. The next one is one of the heavier pulls. Oh! Yeah, that's fine. The Dark Knight's gotta eat, you know? Are they gonna do it? No, it's not looking good. I don't think we're gonna do it. Oh, sad. It's a really fun pull too. Granted, I don't. No, they are. You know, it's just sad. Everyone's playing well. We could have actually done it. The worst case scenario is like I would have had to top the pod on lane 3 at fucking silver. Even that was fairly unlikely. That was a real solid party here. This boss is real nifty because if you have a female Makrote in your party that has the well-nourished buff, then whenever it, well, you'll see, but yeah, whenever it does that, there's a chance to see a, I believe it's the fat cat in the middle there. Alas, no chance. No, my combo! Oh, that's interesting. Not that I can... Ah! Same boat. Same boat. I thought that Dragoon had Eye of the Dragon by now. I'm guessing not, because I haven't gotten it once. So I can only assume they do not have it. Or they are not going to the trouble of using it to its full effectiveness. Oh, they changed it. It's different now. Oh, I kind of miss when you would turn into the fucking weird spectre. It's kind of sad. It's not a big deal. I hope they didn't give the boss AoE indicators. There's no way, right? I'm gonna be so upset if they did that. Not even gonna lie. They better not have. The bridges, I'm okay with that. That's actually, I almost prefer the bridges as opposed to the frickin' transformation. But if they further simplified an already fairly easy boss, I'm gonna be upset. It's so fun actually having to like look at the boss to know how to respond to the mechanic right. that person spent $200 on a statue. They didn't. He's the same. Oh, thank goodness. Ask, what are you doing, buddy? Yeah, the rhythm of being able to backstep and then immediately dash back into the enemy is one of my favorite parts of Samurai. Frankly speaking, it is probably like the reason that I enjoy Samurai as much as I do. This ass is gonna make me extremely upset. Why? Just why? Oh, no! Yeah. Come into the middle! Into the donut! It's the safe, do not stand in the bag! What are you doing? You're doing so well the entire dungeon! Refill my coffee real quick. It did not work as well as I was hoping. Spill some coffee on myself, unfortunately. Anyway, fun dungeon. Look at all this fancy treasure. Those are full golden lions. You love to see it. Oh, that's where they got the picture for the Encyclopedia Eorzea. Nifty.
It would appear this place is yet inhabited by King Theodoric's kin, or what is left of them. The work of terrible magics, I fear.
Terrible, aye. But their misfortune is our fortune?
Quite. By the 12, there is even more than I imagined.
Yeah, the solid wrought gold lions are what get me.
Oh, I can't wait to see the look on Lisa's face. Thanks for believing in me, you two.
I need to go change my pants, because they are soaked in coffee. I'll be back in a moment. I'm back. Let's get back into it. I remember you. When Arnvold asked me to lend my spear, I didn't imagine it would be for such an adventure. I'm grateful for the chance to be a part of it. I wonder if she's completely new, and they added her with and they tweaked the dialogue for the dungeon. She is the missing DPS. What if you play tank? I guess Arnvold could probably flex into DPS as well. If you were playing. Then who would flex healer? Gods, what a dark and treacherous trek that was, with abominations waiting for us at every turn. In other words, it was a proper adventure. Arnvold and I tried to do our fair share, but I fear you ended up bearing the bulk of the burden as usual. You truly led the way with your adventuring prowess, my friend. Aye, without your help, I reckon we'd still be fumbling about in the dark. I'm glad I called on you. I must say, I'm still reeling at the sight of that mountain of riches. What, like how you reeled at the sight of that floating scepter, you mean? I wish you could have seen the look on your face, Elfino. But must we dwell on such momentary lapses? We found the Mad King's trove, and that is all that matters. I don't know what they're talking about. Nope. No! Stop! Elfino. First Justinian, now Arnvold, would seem there's much amusement to be had at my expense. Honestly, I thought I might as well go adventuring with Alize. All jesting aside, we must help tell people the good news, and I think Lise should be the first. Seconded, she is bound to be delighted. If I am no longer needed, then I shall take my leave. Of course, don't let us keep you. Thanks again, and say hello to Vama for me. Now then, there is to be a meeting of representatives from across Ala Mhigo, so Lise is sure should be in the city. Shall we seek her out? Before I get lost in the city streets. Let's just make life a bit easier on me. Anyone? Doesn't look like it. Hello! Oh, you three look pleased with yourselves. What have you been up to? I'm glad you asked, Lise, and I'm pretty sure you're going to like the answer. You're joking. The Mad King's trove? I thought it was a myth. So did plenty of people, but they didn't have Arntel and Elfino in their party. The credit for finding it should really go to them. As far as what to do with it all, I vote that it go towards alleviating the suffering of Ala Mhigo's poor. Gods, if there is as much as you say. Arnvold did not exaggerate, I assure you. We could not hope to carry even a fraction of it out on our own. I have taken the liberty of sketching out a rough map of the ruins. If you will assemble a squad of your most trusted freedom fighters, they should be able to follow the route to where the treasure lies. Understood. I'll make sure every coin is accounted for, and what goes for the spending as well. And that goes for the spending as well. Thank you. Oh, there's one other thing. When the time comes to draw up a plan for distributing the spoils, I would ask that you consult Alphino. I don't have a head for details. I'm not educated. I see that simply handing out sacks of gil won't solve anything, but I couldn't rightly tell you what to do instead. Oh, I know that feeling. I'd welcome any advice you could give us, Alphino. Of course, I shall be at your disposal. Yes, Alphino and coin. That sounds like a very good idea. Commander, we've got a problem. Deep breaths. Tell me what happened. A mob's gathered outside headquarters, and they've started making demands. You best come and see for yourself.
Step back, all of you!
Like hells we will! We know who you've got in there!
We're not leaving till you hand her over!
Bring her out! Bring her out!
What's going on?
Someone let slip about Fedora.
It's true then! The bitch really is in there! I knew it! I bloody knew it! We demand vengeance! Bring her out! Today we butcher the butcher!
Honestly, fair.
Come on, you don't mean that. We'd be no better than the Imperials if you'd all just calm down.
I don't know, man. Fordola's kind of
Calm down!
irredeemable.
That monster and her thrice damned skulls dragged my man from our home and beat him to death in the street!
Aye, and my dad! That bitch has spilt enough blood to fill a lock!
We all know her crimes. She's a traitor and a murderer. How many of your resistance friends have died at her hands, eh? And here you are, protecting her!
So that's what all the fuss is about.
Something. Can we at least get the, like, Nuremberg
Hearken
trials
to
out
me,
here? Like, come on.
brothers and sisters of Ala Mhigo.
Hey, who's this?
Like tried them for, like, war crimes?
That's the bull of Ala Mhigo.
My friends, you are not alone in your anger, your grief, your despair, for it is mine as well. That gnawing pain in your breast, it is enough to bring an old bull to his knees. But I ask you, brothers and sisters, to think not only of the family and friends who were cut down before your very eyes, but to think also of the ones who were abducted, the ones who may yet live. Where were they taken? What became of them? These questions demand answers. I share your thirst for justice, for vengeance, but we will gain only fleeting satisfaction if we give in to our base appetites. We will never know the truth.
A good point.
Now is the time that we, the people of Ala Mhigo, must decide what manner of nation we will build for ourselves, and for generations yet unborn. When they look to our example, will they see a people who held fast to their principles, or one who cast them aside when tried? I say to you, it is our responsibility to give these prisoners a fair trial, that they might answer to all of Ala Mhigo. The Garleans called us savages, and I'll be damned if we prove them right.
I know you're right, I do, but I can't.
Fordola and her Skalls may have aspired to be Imperial citizens, but they were born Ala Mhigo. To their countrymen, they are traitors of the worst kind. The Butcher has much to answer for, but to simply drag her from her cell and slaughter her on the street, General Aldin is right. Thank the gods General Aldin arrived when he did. Any later, we would have had a riot on our hands. After 20 years of Imperial rule, 'tis no surprise that people should seek a target for all their pent-up rage and grief. I only wish I knew the solution. My thanks, Raban. Listening to their anger, I could feel myself being swept away. 'Tis a difficult tide to stem. 'Twas that same rage which brought us to our feet and carried us to victory. But now the war is over. All the unspent fury is being channeled into revenge. Aye, and it's not just here. We've reports of mobs forming all over. They've been targeting folk known to have cooperated with the Garleans. It starts with insults most often, then someone picks up a stone. So some industrious souls have thought to seek out the graves of Xenos and his officers. It was grim. I want to build a country where everyone, regardless of race or origin, can live side by side in peace, but maybe the time isn't right. Maybe people just aren't ready. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try. The representatives will be here soon, and I'll be damned if I'm going to give up before I've even begun. Who are these representatives exactly? Oh, the village elders, refugee leaders, and the like. It wouldn't be right for us to dictate the nation's future on our own. So we've planned a summit of sorts. We've even invited the Ananta and the Kikirin to participate. Ala Mhigo stands at a crossroads, and this meeting will decide which path it takes. The matter of Fordola's sentence cannot be suffered to disrupt proceedings. Then, let's execute her and be done with it. She herself asked to be put to death. Nago, I already explained why we wouldn't do that. Sending her to the gallows might satisfy people right now, but where would it end? Should we round up everyone who collaborated and everyone who didn't resist? There would be no one left. It would be no better than Theodoric and Xenos. I don't think that logic is fully sound, but okay. She literally slaughtered an entire contingent of her own men, but I'll go off, I guess. Begging your pardon, but might I be allowed to speak with Fordola? Only I caught a glimpse of her past, a moment of it anyway, during our fight. She's done terrible things, unforgivable things, but in some ways, she's a victim of the circumstances in which she was born, and that's something I can understand. All right, speak with the prison guard when you're ready, and I'll come and join you. I want to talk to her too. I'll return to my other duties then. We've barely begun to investigate the facility where they gave Fordola her powers. Be fairly warned, friends. She will test you. Don't let your emotions color your judgment when she does. If you will have me, I have a mind to attend this interview as well. I have no great wish to save Fordola, even if I could, but there's more to her than meets the eye, I'm sure of it. Speak with the guard, and we'll all go in together. Stop it! Stop! I swear to God. I think it's best if I stay outside and keep watch for troublemakers. After what that woman did to Mefred and Commander Kemp, I'd struggle not to throttle her. You've the commander's permission to enter, then? Yes. This is a very good cutscene.
So many visitors. Come to have a good laugh, have you?
Apologies if you can hear the plane.
Or do you mean to put me out of my misery? To finish what you started? It's about bloody time.
That's not why we're here, no. Do you remember what I said? How I promised you you'd live long enough to see us win our freedom? Well, I meant it. And not to mock you either.
You're wasting your time. All of this is pointless! There's no reason to keep me alive, and you know it! I killed your men. I killed my men! And you know what my only regret is? That I didn't kill you when I had the chance!
That's a lie, and you know it! You think we can't tell what you're trying to do? That we're blind? Yeah, you're a fool, but you're not stupid. You're ruthless. Relentless. You'd give up anything and everything to get what you want. You didn't come this far, climbing over the bodies of your own brothers and sisters just to piss it all away. I see you, Fedora. I see you for what you are.
Fadola, we mustn't be late. The Imperial Viceroy will be attending today's banquet.
Yeah, leaves. But the thing is, leaves are, like, really bad. Like, really bad. Leaves are really only useful for leveling from, like, level 1 to, like, 30, using a very specific trick, but if you're leveling Dark Knight, you already have it at 30 plus, so I wouldn't recommend it. Except for crafting. Leaves are incredibly powerful tools for leveling up crafters. But, yeah, the best way to level, really borderline, the only way to level is,
Filthy tin-head lovers.
It's dungeons. You gotta do dungeons. Now, there is a way to do dungeons without other players. But it's a lot of work to get set up. And then after that, it's like, it's amazing. It's squadrons. You gotta get squadrons set up, which is a subsect of the Grand Companies. Not if you level up and properly optimize your squadrons. Squadrons can be just as fast as our players, if not faster, because you can, like, you can get their stats pumped up. The downside with squadrons, squadrons only go up to level 60 content. So you can only use them until you're at, like, around about 60.
Fadola!
Traitors!
Please, you have to do something! My husband and daughter are in danger!
Soldiers of the Imperial Army are under no obligation to intervene in the disputes of arms.
We're citizens! We have rights!
It's all right. It's all right. They don't understand, but they'll see in time. They'll see that this is the only way to survive.
Traitors! Traitors!
F.
Let the savages have their fun. They'll be more compliant once they've tired themselves out.
Fadela, please! You already have citizenship. Why would you want to become a soldier? Oh, gods! What have you done to your face?
Forgotten it already, have you? I'm honoring Father's memory.
By telling the world that you know better than a common savage.
Am I though, Mother? Are any of us? Can't you see? Citizenship means nothing to them. If you're not a pure-blood Garlean, you're no different from any other savage. So I'll play the part. I'll join the Legion and I'll make them respect me. And when the mob see that, they'll think twice before throwing their stones. Ansfrid, Rudolph, Emlyn. It's time. It'll be hard. Humiliating. They'll try to break us. Send us crawling back to our own kind. But we won't, no matter what. We'll bleed for them, die for them if we have to. We'll do whatever it takes to be free!
Really is incredible seeing how much the facial animations improve as you progress through the expansions. Like Shadowbringers cutscenes are a whole different beast, and it's even more funny when you consider that Hildebrand is one of the main ways that they improved it, because they used Hildebrand as a like testing ground for like how far they could push the engine and how best to use it.
So, you mean to play the part one last time, eh? The unrepentant traitor whose death will serve to unite the people?
Shut up.
You had every chance to kill yourself. Fashion a noose from your clothes. Wait for the guards to leave you alone long enough to slip it over your neck.
I said shut up!
Oh, but then it would have all been for nothing, wouldn't it? Whatever it takes. That's what you said.
Been in my head, have you? Had a little peek at my past?
Yeah, it's pretty neat trick.
And what? A few stolen memories tell you everything you need to know, do they?
Give me a gist.
Don't you dare patronize me! You don't know a god's damned thing about the life I've led! The bastards that killed him. The bastards that let it happen. My father deserved better! I swore I'd do whatever it took to make them pay!
Okay, Yotsuyu, calm down. Yotsuyu. Oh, it's her turn. Yeah, fancy a peek at my head? you? What are you?
You. All that power. All that pain. It's too much. Too much for anyone.
It's the Dark Knight questline. Calm down. I did the Dark Knight questline. We're good.
They've done to you. The lies. The betrayal. The endless fighting. Yet there you stand. Unbroken. How? Why?
I don't know. For those I have lost, for those I can yet save.
Damn you. Damn you all.
You still have time, Fordola. Think about how you want to spend it. Let's go.
Very good cutscene. I enjoy when they acknowledge the shit the Warrior of Light's been through. But I think that's a pretty good point for a break. I am going to go grab the lunch that I made myself last night. I'm gonna eat that, and I'm gonna take care of some other quick stuff. I should be back in 15 minutes or less. I'm aiming for less, but in the meantime, enjoy the background music of the area. Alright, I'm back. How'd I do? I can't actually check. I should start timers. Anyway, get back to it, yeah? So sorry about that. I let my emotions get the better of me. It's just that she and I are of an age, and we are neither of us one thing or another. I can't help but feel like she's my problem to solve. The capacity to experience such visions of the past had always seemed to me to be a most desirable trait, but I see now that it is as much a burden as a blessing. Sorry. I don't know that we solved anything exactly, but we've given Fordola something to think about at least. And I found something new to think about too. Sorry. I don't know about you, Arentel, but the visions only come to me every now and then. From the way that Fordola kept wincing, though, I get the feeling that she's having them almost all the time. There's a lot of bad memories to deal with. Thank you. I wonder, could there be some fundamental difference between one who is born with the Echo and one who has been artificially imbued with it? Well, the Immortal Flames have been scouring that research facility ever since the liberation. There's a chance they might have some answers for us. General Aldin's been overseeing the investigation. Well, let's go and pay him a visit, shall we? The answer is actually quite interesting. He said, forebodingly. General Aldin is inside. Will you be joining him? Oh damn! I forgot you got to walk around. You got to walk around this place. You say anything? Speak. Do it. A sandwich I made myself for work last night, which I did not eat because I instead went to dinner at the place next door. That's the chicken sandwich with like honey mustard and bacon and stuff. So many bodies. They should burn this place to the ground and be done with it. We kind of need to know what they were doing here, dude. Ironworks engineer. We received a request from the Alliance to analyze these devices, and I've been recording everything of interest. Cool. Seeing this facility, I am reminded of what they did to Cryo. You got anything to say? No? Right, fair. And what about you? Surely you'll say something, right? Right? No? Oh, well, damn. Not one. Failed on all accounts. Surely you three, who are clearly already talking, will have text bubbles, right? Right? No? Damn. Come on, let's talk to Ravan. Hello, Ravan. What news? You spoke with Fordola, I take it? Yes, as expected, she didn't say very much, but it wasn't a total waste of time. Arnvold noticed something odd about her. He thinks she might be having visions almost constantly, which is not how the Echo normally works. Have you found anything here which might explain why it's so different for her? Even hard-pressed just to organize the research materials, let alone study them. To be frank, I'd welcome the science expert assistance if you have the time to lend a hand. I'm just get Orion J on the ringer. Bring whatever you discover to me, and I'll put all our findings together. Anything new? For a race with no innate capacity to manipulate Aether, the Garleans have conducted some exceedingly elaborate etheric experiments. All the pods are designed to drain the aether of the occupant, save that one right there. Unlike the others, the interiors have been fitted with an array of sensors to measure etheric waveforms. To what purpose? I couldn't tell you. Okay, this makes me think that everyone's dialogue changed. These bastards would fiddle with a man's very soul if it served their purpose. Nothing is sacred to them. Nothing. True, though. Where'd Elise go? So many bodies. Every one of them a victim of these experiments. Few show any signs of external injury. From what we've been able to determine, they perished from forcible aether extraction. Such a miserable way to die. We've recovered scores of bodies from those devices. What could possibly justify the deaths of so many? Oh, she's up there. Elise. Elise. Leave this section to me. Okay. That was worth it. Can't even jump off the edge. Wow. I still can't. Wow. SE, come on, guys. There we go. I know it's a side area, but goodness. The device in which Cryo was held seems even more ominous now you know its purpose. The surrounding pods are marked Supply Subject, while this one bears the label Master Subject. The Ironworks received a request for oh, interesting. Did you notice the labeling? All the pods are designed to drain the aether of the occupant. Save that one right there. Unlike the others, the interior has been fitted with an I already read all that. Interesting. They changed a few words around, but... I know little and less of science, so any light you can shed on this facility's operations would be much appreciated, Arentel. I shall start with you. I'm something of a scientist myself. Swaps to machinist, swaps to gunbreaker, swaps to, blue mage, tentatively speaking. Taken in combination with the testimonies of Kryl and Thancred, I do begin to... Sage, that's a good one. I do begin to see exactly what the Imperials were attempting here. The enhancement procedure entailed infusing a single candidate with aether siphoned from a multitude of supply subjects. As for the master subject, in this case, Kryl, the patterns of her etheric activity would provide the model upon which they would artificially engineer the candidate's aura. In other words, they were trying to recreate Kryl's echo. I believe so, which would explain our prisoner's present state. Kryl is possessed of an unrivaled ability to hear the whispers of the soul, and it seems probable that the procedure engendered the same acute sensitivity in Fordola. The soldiers who guard Fordola, many of them lost friends and family to the skulls, and there's a sentry at her door night and day if she can't help sensing their thoughts and seeing their past. But you don't just see their past, you live it. All the emotions, all the pain. Imagine what it'd do to you. You'd never be the same again. Indeed, as you may recall, Yazael was completely transformed by a single glimpse of Racewalker's past. Fordola has been forced to experience the agony of those whose lives she destroyed. The guilt must be unbearable. That explains her request to be executed. Sounds to me like a kind of justice. Regardless, she can suffer on for now. We have more pressing matters to consider. If the results of these experiments have been relayed back to Garlemald, there will be naught to stop the Empire from repeating the trick. They could give the echo to anyone, to an entire legion. We must be ready. We must learn all we can from these gods-forsaken procedures. And Fordola remains our best source of information. She'll not be getting her wish. Not yet. Right. Keep faith, lass. If you are to convince others to follow you, you must believe what you're telling them. People will respond to passion, but not if it's feigned. I understand. Thank you, General. We should leave the flames to it. Let's go. I've never known why I was given the echo, but this makes me want to put it to good use. The forcible extraction of aether from a living subject is invariably fatal. How many died that Fordola might gain her new abilities? I go looking for answers about the Echo and end up getting scolded by Raban. Get more evidence that I don't know what I'm doing. It's no wonder people listen to him and not me. General Al-Din is a veteran of countless campaigns, Lise. You cannot compare yourself to a commander of his experience. I know, but I also know that I couldn't have convinced that mob to give up and go home. It makes me realize how much we rely on his authority and how much I still have to learn. I wonder what he'll do when everything here is settled. I mean, it's his homeland. After going to the trouble of winning it back, might he not want to stay? 'Tis a quandary which countless refugees now face. To continue the life they lived in Ul'dah, or start again in the land of their birth. Arentel, a moment. It's Pippin. I am newly returned from Ul'dah with a message from the Sultana. Her Grace desires an audience with you. She understands that you have responsibilities here, but asks that you visit the palace at your earliest convenience. Well, I must away and attend to other business. Until next time, my friends. An audience with the Sultana, depending on the nature of her consultation, this might be the perfect opportunity to inquire about the General's future plans. Yes, we'd all like to know about those. Alphino, but not everyone's as comfortable interrogating royalty as you. Take no notice of him, Arentel. In case you're wondering, I'm not planning on staying in Ala Mhigo. Too many bad memories, and besides, I like my new life. I know I could learn so much from Raban if he decided to stay, but it's his choice, and I'm not about to try and persuade him. Ul'dah needs him too. Well, the question of how to put the Mad King's treasure to good use shows no signs of answering itself. Shall we about it, Arnville? I am at your beck and call. And I should be getting back to my own tasks. I'll organize a squad to head down into the ruins and then start preparing for the big meeting. Oh, send Nanamo my regards, Arntel. And ours too, if you please. We shall see you on your return. Actually, I have tickets for this. Gotta burn through these so I can go back to being in the maybe I shouldn't if I'm gonna forget the name of it. Good God. The Maelstrom. Maelstrom. Aethernet, Chamber of Rule. Bartholomew is, oh yeah, he's the guy right outside the door. Yeah. With the likes of you, they say to the champion of Eorzea. I find it deeply funny when, like, certain dialogues like that don't change when you're, like, one of the most famous people on the continent. My lord, it was an honor to face you in the tournament. I see, case in point. Since that day, I have spent my every spare moment in the practice yard, striving to attain some fraction of your skill with the blade. Ah, forgive me. You are here for your audience with the Sultana. Please proceed. He says blade, even though I was using a lance at the time because I was still a dragoon. Yeah.
I thank you for answering my summons in these most interesting times. You have been busy.
Quite.
The liberation of Ala Mhigo will have far-reaching consequences, and there is a matter upon which I would seek your counsel. I speak of Rauban and his future. All know the tale of his rise from penniless refugee to member of the Syndicate and General of the Immortal Flames. Yet though he has come to call Ul'dah home, it will never be his homeland. He is a son of Ala Mhigo. And now that she is free, I thought it only a matter of time before he sought my leave to return to her. Indeed, I had resigned myself to his loss. Suffice it to say, I was greatly surprised to hear him speak so lightly of handing over the reins in Ala Mhigo and retaking his place at my side. I will welcome him with open arms, of course. He is my most trusted advisor and my dearest friend. But I have known the man a long time, and beneath that steely gaze, I spied a flicker of doubt. Whether Rauban chooses to remain in Ul'dah or return to Ala Mhigo, I only wish that he do so with a heart unburdened by guilt or regret. Yet, how can he freely make such a choice, knowing how much I depend on him? It is past time that I learned to discharge my duties as a sultana alone. I must go forth and see my realm with my own eyes, and hear the wind with my own ears.
Don't you do that, like, all the time as a
Might I have your company for a
Lily-Ra?
brief
Oh,
adventure?
God. Isn't that like the entire basis of like starting in Ul'dah? Is he just did that?
Allow me a moment to change into something a touch less conspicuous, and I will join you outside.
On the matter of that, I wonder if that dialogue is a little different if you started in Ul'dah, so that she goes, you may know of my outings as one Lady Lily-Ra. In which case, this would mean that there is a like distinct timeline difference if you start in Ul'dah as opposed to if you do not. In ways other than when you meet which scions when. Anyway. Quicksand, Adventurers Guild. Where is it? I lost it. There it is. Oh, there it is. Perchance you remember Lily-Ra, the merchant's daughter? This is the persona I presume when I venture beyond the palace walls to observe my subjects unnoticed. Ordinarily, Papa Shan would accompany me for this particular outing. I need an advisor, not a minder. And that is why I requested your company. Over the course of your many adventures, you have met people from all walks of life in every corner of Eorzea, and I would make use of your worldly experience. Now, let us be on our way. Our first destination is Stone's Throw, just beyond the Gate of Nald. Look upon this procession of tattered tents. These refugees camp in squalor at the mercy of the elements and Thanalan's predators both. The city's mighty walls offer safety, but the streets overflow with people as it is. And unless blessed by the hand of Nald himself, no refugee could ever hope to afford a dwelling in Ul'dah. 20 years have passed since the fall of Ala Mhigo, and 5 years since the calamity, yet the plight of the poor has grown more desperate, not less. As Sultana, the blame falls upon me. Your hands have been tied, Your Grace. Yes, my authority is limited, and that is an obstacle I must work to overcome. Shall we press on? I would follow the road to the unholy air. Imagine not going as the crow flies. She wasn't joking about down the road, though. Hello. It was here, in this wholly unremarkable place, that my mother and father met their doom. I was but a child at the time. My parents were returning from an inspection of our interests in eastern Thanalan when an untimely rockslide crushed their carriage. To this day, it is not certain if the incident was simple misfortune or an expertly planned assassination. Raban once offered to reopen the investigation and bring me the truth he assumed I most surely craved. But I refused. Even if my parents' deaths were orchestrated by the monetarists, we could only have brought their hirelings to justice. The true villains, those who plotted to put me on the throne as a bribable puppet, were ever beyond our reach. Thus did I plan to strip the merchants of their power and place our nation in the hands of its citizens, quite unaware of the consequences my actions would have for you and yours. I shudder to think how many goodly souls paid the price for my naivety. But I am no longer a child reciting words with witless obedience, and I will not be used as a pawn in the monetarists' damnable games. Forgive me my outburst. You are one of the few people to whom I feel I can speak my mind. Come, let us return to Ul'dah and visit the Colosseum. This fucking questline is gonna drain all of my few remaining tickets, man. Colosseum. This way. From the moment I became Sultana, I found myself thrust into an endless parade of document signing and ceremonies. For years, I simply signed where I was told to sign and sat where I was told to sit, blissfully oblivious to what any of it meant. Yet one good thing did come from that ignominious chapter in my life, for it was during an official visit to the Colosseum that I first met Raban. The match I had been invited to attend was not at all what I expected. They had pitted the Bull of Ala Mhigo against some dozen or so rival gladiators. Blinkered though I was, I would not stand for so obvious an injustice and demanded to see a fair fight, one man against another, and my royal wish was duly granted. It was not until later that I learned of the gambling ring which had arranged for Raban to die on the sands that day. Regardless, my intervention meant that Raban had but a single opponent to dispatch, which he duly did. And when he knelt before me to receive the winner's purse, he swore that he would one day offer his blade in my service. Surrounded as I was by liars and manipulators, I confess I dismissed it as a pleasant piece of theater. But as you know, Raban is a man of his word. Though it took him another 5 years of fighting in the Blood Sands, he amassed a fortune so great as to buy not only his freedom, but a seat on the Syndicate. And then I had my blade. Hey, Echo Time! Hey. F. Now that we're getting Viper, we will never get it, but I've always really wanted a dual sword job that worked like how we see Raban fight during the tournament, where it's almost like the halfway point between Gladiator and Warrior, with all the like rocks jutting out and the plumes of fire and stuff. But alas, we shall never see that because Viper's kind of taken that idea. In a similar vein, I wouldn't mind a job based on Merlin with her dual pistols. But, you know, that's too similar to a machinist.
It seems you're the one who needs looking after, Master Shell. Raban!
Your Grace, I have kept the promise made.
So you have, and in turn, so too shall I keep mine. With your winnings, you have become one of the 6 most wealthy souls in all Uldar, and so, as tradition dictates, Rauben Aldin, you have earned yourself a seat on the Syndicate. May your new station garner you still greater glories.
I am honored, Your Grace, and vow to serve with every fiber of my being from this day till my last. Long live the Sultana, and long live Uldar!
And that's how Raban got his parrot. It is a fun scene, though. Words cannot well express what that man means to me. There are others who care deeply for my well-being, of course. Papa Shan's love for me is as that of a grandsire for his grandchild. But upon matters of governance, I cannot turn to bodyguards and maidservants for counsel. Raban, with the authority of a syndicate position, was the first sword I could wield. He was the only edge which could cut the strings that bound me. We must make haste. My absence will not go unnoticed by the Sultan Sworn for long. There are other places I would visit. To the the ossuary. Black Mage Guild, yes. Very fitting FC name for a Black Mage. Or FC tag at any rate. When the Calamity threatened... Why does that not sound right? Raban led the Alliance forces into battle on the plains of Cartano, and I remained here. I prayed with all my heart that Archon Louis Sois would have the power to rouse the 12. Since that day, I have made a custom of visiting the shrine during each of my little excursions. Here I seek the blessings of Thal, reflect upon my choices, and ask myself if I am fulfilling my duties as Sultana. You are rightly celebrated as a champion because you have led the line in 100 battles for the good of Eorzea. In much the same way, I believe the measure of a monarch lies in how she leads her people in times of adversity. If I am to be a Sultana worthy of the name, I cannot turn a blind eye to the troubles facing Uldar. I have chosen my path, Arentel. With Ala Mhigo now freed from Imperial chains, I finally see a way to aid the refugees. Already, many displaced Ilamigans seek to begin the long trek home, and as you well know, our artisans' school shall be waiting to accept any who wish to learn new trades. Wait. Realistically, however, it will take years for such training to yield tangible benefits. I forget if the artisans' school... Is the artisans' school... Oh, I forget. I don't know if that's an MSQ thing or not. Shit. Okay. So I don't know if this is an MSQ thing or not. If it is, then completely ignore everything that I'm about to say because I'm wrong. Right. I think this is a reference to one of the events of the level 70, or 6270, Goldsmith quests. The crafter jobs... It does happen from time to time, but the crafter jobs appearing in like main text, that's very nifty. Because one of the big events of the Goldsmith quest line for the 60 to 70 chain is you go to Ralgar's Reach and you set up a school and a company that produces fine wares. And one of the last things you make for that quest is a music box for Nanamo. Oh, that's nifty. Oh, that's so cool. I hope even if I'm remembering it wrong, I'm gonna enjoy this connection, real or fabricated. But we do not have years. These people will need shelter and employment if they are to survive, and this time the Uldan Treasury shall provide. Precisely where and how to allocate the necessary funds is, of course, another question. Why not ask a member of the Syndicate for advice? Like Godbert. Godbert's pretty cool. A wise suggestion. Mayhap a visit to the Gold Saucer is in order. Its proprietor is a member of the Syndicate, and he is one of the few who pay refugees a fair wage. I wonder, are you acquainted with Godbert Manderville? Insert flashback montage of the ARR and Heavensward and StormBlood Hildebrand quests. Then I need not explain his eccentric nature. Let us make our way to the landing, and I will see that we're descent to the Gold Saucer. Godbert should be only too glad to receive us. I am slightly tempted. I think I might add going through all the class quests and job quests to my I will do this if there's time list. Probably... Let me just look at the list real quick. Probably, before Hildebrand, but after that other side quest I want to do from Endwalker that I can't even name because it's minor spoilers. Probably then. But you know, there's still the question of why didn't I use an Aetheryte? I can just go straight to the airship landing. Oops. Ooh, are they here? Next question. If they were going to be here, could I even see them? Because I am in New Game Plus. Airship landing. Oh, there's so many little things. I am going to be doing the role quests, all of them, and the side bit for those. Yeah, it makes sense. I have ridden aboard a public airship before, but this shall be my first visit to the Gold Saucer. I must confess to some excitement. Gold Saucer. I had heard descriptions of its splendor, yet I never dreamed it would be so bright and inviting. No, I couldn't possibly. We did not come here to fritter away the royal coin. Godbert will be expecting us. Come, let us head directly to the lounge and ignore these gaudy temptations. Oh yeah, I wanted to, I may as well since I'm here. What weapon was it? Oh yeah, no you can't. You cannot. It isn't an option. Yeah. You can get this though, that's kinda neat. Sorrow. Maybe I'm gonna be under 2? Yeah, I didn't think so. Damn. It would appear as though you cannot get a nullstone staff for a black mage. Which I'm a little surprised. Mind you, I haven't checked the online store yet, so maybe you can. But it does not seem terribly likely, unfortunately. I believe this is where we are to meet Lord Manderville. Shall we sit while we await his coming? My apologies, Your Grace. I have kept you waiting. No apologies are necessary, Godbert. My request was sudden, and you were kind to make yourself available at such short notice. When the intrepid Arentel Melfren and the Sultana herself come calling, there is no more important engagement. As to the purpose of my visit, I would have your thoughts on how the Crown might best aid the refugees residing in Thanalan. You are aware, I am sure, that many of Ala Mhigo's displaced sons and daughters long to return to their newly liberated homeland. And you are also aware of how they will suffer without shelter and work to sustain them. I would use our nation's wealth to spare them that suffering. What advice have you for me on the matter of how it might best be distributed? The unusual circumstances of our meeting and your Grace's choice of companion would suggest to me a desire for an honest and unvarnished opinion. I shall give you one. My advice to you is stop. Taxing Uldah's wealth to save Ala Mhigan refugees is a terrible, terrible idea. You oppose my proposition most emphatically. I agree with your Grace that the refugees must have housing and employment, but what profit is there for Uldah in this arrangement? Profit? And for all you've done for Girabania's displaced, I thought you the very last person to seek benefit from their misfortune. Forgive me, your Grace, but you appear to be laboring under a misapprehension. It is a fine endeavor to support one's fellow man. I fear, however, that your stance is one born of pity. Your intent is to save the refugees, is it not? For all our potential, we are indolent creatures by nature. If unconditional charity is all we know, then we begin to rely upon it, to expect it. And then we must consider Uldah's own poor and downtrodden. Should they hear of you spending the nation's coin, not to improve their lot, but to nurture the distant citizens of Ala Mhigo, it is unlikely they will applaud your generosity. Surely it is not your Grace's intention to foster new resentments, but to spread goodwill. Indeed. Then any support I pledge to the refugees must promote self-sufficiency, whilst also serving the interests of the people of Uldah. Exactly so. Such an arrangement will create a far more equitable relationship with the returning Ala Mhigans, even as it generates the revenue required to win the approval of your subjects. You have given me much to ponder, Lord Manderville. I thank you for your candor. Profit. The thought never even crossed my mind. But standing about lamenting my naivety will not do anyone any good. I shall consider my lesson learned and press on. Arentel, are you perchance acquainted with any successful merchants? If my attempt at philanthropy is obliged to reap a profit, it would seem wise to consult someone with a knack for business. I know Hancock. I am marginally acquainted with a certain Lolorito. Ordinarily, I would not trust any agent of the East Aldnard Trading Company. There's Tataru. She's great with coin. But if you hold this Hancock fellow in high esteem, I am content to be led by you. You may repay my faith by journeying to distant Kugane and speaking with him on my behalf. Eager though I am to visit those shores, I have not the leisure for a lengthy sea voyage. Now, assuming you will travel as adventurers are wont to do, I shall await your report by the Aetheryte in Uldah. A fair journey to you, Arentel, and a swift one, if you please. Why doesn't everyone use the Aetherites? They're not even that expensive. Where's the Aetherite? There it is. I assume anyway. I assume they're not expensive. To be fair, that's like half the cost of a hair tie, so... Why didn't I aetherite? Another time. I'll get it later. I don't need it now. Okay, next trip I will travel 30 feet. I'm not gonna read the dialogue. I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. We're good. I made it. I didn't read it. Arentel, to what do I owe the pleasure? Or are you here on business? Mostly business. I beg your pardon? Her Grace the Sultana would have my opinion on how best to invest the wealth of Ul'dah. My dear Arentel, I have to thank you for this recognition. I am sure, and I am flattered, that you came to me, truly flattered. But why settle for a lowly apprentice when you could have the master? Upon matters of profit, there is no living soul better qualified to advise Her Grace than Chairman Lolorito, a man whose mourning excretions are said to fill his garter robe with gold? Interesting. I should be happy to arrange a meeting for you, say at the Scion's former headquarters in Thanalan. The Waking Sands would seem a suitably neutral venue for negotiations, don't you think? Fare you well, Arentel, and may your dealings prove fruitful. You will not find a shrewder merchant than Chairman Lolorito. Would that I could be present to witness the back and forth of your coming negotiations. I'm sure this will go swimmingly. Anyway. And thus I return once more to Ul'dah. Hello. Welcome back, Arentel. Did your merchant friend have any useful advice to share? He made an appointment with one Lolorito. With Lolorito, and you agreed to this? Yeah. I'm well aware of his standing in the field of business, but I had hoped to keep the monetarists at arm's length, and him in particular. Nay, I cannot live in fear of the man. I must learn how to treat with him if I am to rule Ul'dah effectively. Very well. I will meet with Lolorito, and get out. Let us go on ahead to the Waking Sands and prepare for his coming. Thank you for the free teleport. So this is where the Scions first congregated. I have heard many tales, but never had the occasion to visit. To work, then. The hour of the meeting draws near, and I would gather my thoughts. Pray see to it that we have the appointed room to ourselves. And teleported again. Woo!
A personal summons from the Scions. This must be important business indeed. Though, if it concerns anything so underhand as an assassination, I fear I can be of little help.
Fuck you, dude. Like, I guess he wasn't the one to orchestrate the assassination part of things. So, fair enough.
You have made your point. It is indeed unsettling to find oneself seated across from an impassive mask. There, would this better please your grace? Or should I address you as Lady Lilira? Hmm?
Nay, the deception has served its purpose. I'm glad to see you found amusement in my little jest, Lord Lolorito, but shall we proceed to the business at hand?
By all means. I must say, I'm most eager to hear your proposal.
Simply put, I would aid the refugees camped in Thanalan in their efforts to return to Ala Mhigo. The reparations you paid in the wake of your earlier misdemeanors will be used to fund the endeavor, together with the fortune seized from the late Teleji Adeleji's estate. But this plan is not intended to benefit the displaced alone. I would make of this an investment which shall enrich Uldar and Ala Mhigo both. And who better to consult on matters of profit than the wealthiest man in all of Thanalan? I beseech you then, Lord Lolorito, share with us your mercantile wisdom.
Ah, 'twould seem your grace has matured beyond acts of earnest yet misplaced charity. Pray tell me more. To summarize, in return for facilitating the repatriation of refugees and assisting in the establishment of new industry in Ala Mhigo, you ask that a proportion of all subsequent profits be promised to Uldar. Ha! I am impressed, Your Grace. 'Tis an elegant solution, albeit one lacking certain crucial details, specifically which industry and where.
How swiftly you identified the weakness in my plan, just as I knew you would. Your travels have taken you across the length and breadth of Gir Abania, and you know the land far better than I. Which of the settlements you visited would best provide a home for our refugees? Which has the greatest potential to flourish, given the appropriate investment?
The Alagiri? The Sultry?
Yes,
Alagana's
if
got
a stable trade
marble.
route can be established between Uldar and Ala Mhigo, then Alagiri would once more become an important waypoint. But while such growth would greatly benefit its current residents, I'm afraid it could sustain little beyond that.
Alagana's right out. That's a quarry and little else. The Sultry.
Ah, yes, that desolate little village on the shore of Loch Seld. I know the Sultry and its products well. The Imperial invasion brought an end to their more widespread distribution, much to the dismay of many a wealthy gourmand, myself included. Salt has ever been a transformative ingredient, and in this instance, I dare say, it could transform a modicum of effort into a mountain of gil.
The local citizens will need to be consulted, of course, but I trust the East Aldenar Trading Company can be relied upon to provide its assistance in negotiating a mutually beneficial arrangement.
Naturally, Your Grace. I shall dispatch representatives well-versed in the extraction of this white gold and wring every last ounce of profit from its production. The Loch's bounty will contribute to Ala Mhigo's enrichment, whilst easing the burden on the bull's aching shoulders, just as Your Grace desired.
A deal is struck then.
I knew you'd prove them accusations wrong, so I hunkered down until the storm passed. No sense of wasting energy on battles you've got no need of fighting. Nifty. I never did come back here to read all these dialogues, did I? Maybe I did. Who knows? I fear it will be many years before I feel comfortable taking part in such negotiations, but I shall not complain. We have piqued Lolorito's interest and secured his invaluable expertise. Thank you, Arantel. I could not have done it without you. Our course is decided. I shall return to the palace and have my ministers begin work on implementing the particulars of the plan. If I could prevail upon you one more time, Arantel, I would ask that you convey the details of our negotiations to Commander Hext on your return to Ala Mhigo. My thanks again. Together, we have laid the groundwork for an endeavor which promises to benefit the peoples of Ala Mhigo and Ul'dah both. You need not accompany me back to the palace. I will have Papa Shan arrange an escort, that is, if he hasn't already organized a search party. I've been absent for rather longer than intended. In your absence, I have kept myself busy cataloging the riches of the Mad King's trove and calculating its worth in gil. I have some way to go, but the figure is already quite staggering. What is that figure, Arenvold? Alphino, give me an idea. Welcome back, Arantel. How was your audience with the Sultana? Oh, greetings, Arantel. I'm actually in the middle of reporting to the commander here, so... Arantel, you're back. What did Nanamo? Oh, sorry. Are you allowed to talk about your audience with the Sultana? So Raban says he's going to return to Ul'dah, but she isn't sure he wants to. Tell us something we don't know, but I'm pleased to hear she's committed to helping our refugees come home. And this plan to revitalize the sultry does make a lot of sense. Quite how you convinced her to seek Lolorito's help is another question after all that has happened. He is the very last person I would expect her to turn to for advice. But on a more practical note, at least assuming the interim governments elect to accept Ul'dah's proposal, I have one caveat I should like you to include in the bargain. Ala Mhigo must be permitted to cover a portion of the investment. We have a fortune at our disposal after all, and allowing Ul'dah to provide the entirety of the capital will afford Lolorito too much control. Honestly, Alphino, it's like Kugane never happened. What exactly does a ruthless profiteer have to do to earn your trust? But yes, you do make a good point. First things first, though, we need to discuss this proposal with the Sultry's residents. Wiskar, how do you fancy explaining the Sultana's plan to your grandfather? I'd like to hear what Wat thinks of the idea before agreeing to anything. Right away, Commander. Would you mind coming along, Arantel? I might need you to fill in the details. Then I shall come as well. Should Wat wish to discuss figures, my knowledge on the nation's finances may prove useful. I really, really want to get through the Ala Mhigo segment of Post StormBlood today. But it's beginning to look unlikely. I'm leaving the business of dividing up the treasure to those who know about such things. I'm not proud to admit it, but every time I see a column of numbers, my eyes glaze over. One of these days, I'll have to ask Alphino to explain it all to me. I'll have to give Nanamo my thanks next time we meet. With this and everything else that's been happening, it really feels like things are gathering pace around here. Like, I haven't even reached the big thing that I know is going to happen. Like, oof. In fairness, though, if you could get to the halfway point of the post MSQ in just 2.5 hours with the ability to fly, you know, then it would have been a poor patch cycle, yeah? What manner of mischief brings you young'uns to Old Wat this time, eh? They want to rebuild the sultry, Granddad. Arentel, tell them about the deal. Well, bugger me. We've never had the coin in our hands to put the place back to how it was, but it sounds like that's about to change. There's just one small wrinkle in your plan. It doesn't account for all the nasties queuing up to eat anyone who goes near the shore. The king used to send soldiers to call the buggers, but the Imperials weren't about to help the likes of us. Don't worry, Granddad. We'll take care of all that. Commander Hext has been talking about starting up regular patrols, and I'm sure she'd assign me to the lock if I asked. I'd appreciate that, Whiskar, my lad. I truly would. So does this mean you've gotten better with that blade of yours? I've been training, but mostly to kill Imperials. You've some experience hunting monsters, don't you, Arentel? Think you could cast an eye over a few of these of the local beasties and teach me how to deal with them? Sorry. Let's not waste any time then. I'll see you by the lock. Whilst you're busy attending to the local fauna, I shall have Master Rot explain to me exactly what is required to restore the sultry to its former glory, good hunting. It does my heart good to see youngsters like my grandson giving their all to rebuild the country. Feels like anything's possible. Needless to say, I shall impress upon our friend here the singular importance of securing a fair contract with his Iran benefactors. Right then, Arentel, I've got a spyglass here you can use to take a closer look at these pests. Once you've got their measure, you can tell me what to do, and we'll see how well I get on. Wait, draw. The Yavi's entire body is protected by a hard carapace, but the underside of the head looks soft and vulnerable. It does? Ah, looks like you found a Yabi. They say hitting their shells like smacking a rock. Any suggestion? Aim for the soft underside of the head. Just hit it as hard as you can. Vulnerable under the head. Are they? Right then. Wish me luck. Thanks, Arentel. I did just as you told me, and the wavekin went down like a sack of popotos. Let's find something else. I think I can battle Yabbies now, so we should try something different. What else is out here? Phobad. The Phobad's hands are large and powerful, but destroying its crystallized core should render the salt golem inanimate. You sense power pulsing from behind its brow. Phobad. How do I defeat one of those? Yeah, smack it in the eye. Just hit it really, really hard as you can. Destroy the core within its brow. Is that its head, is it? I'll try to stab it right between the eyes then. It's not easy fighting with the liberator of Ala Mhigo, watching your every move, but I got the job done. Thanks for the advice, Arntel. I feel a lot better prepared for my patrols now. Any road, we should head back to the Sultry before Granddad starts to worry. I've been sniped and snipped into pieces and fed to a Yabby's hatchlings. Yabby doesn't even have claws. Do they? I guess those could be claws. Let's hurry up and tell Granddad how the hunt went. It'll set his mind at ease. For the merchants of Ul'dah, a well-constructed contract is both sword and shield, and Wat must understand this if we are to meet them on an even field. Speaking of battles, how does Wiskar seem equal to the task of thinning the local locks, the locks monster population? There we go. He certainly seemed eager enough. So you've returned in one piece. Dealt with those beasties then, did you? I fought them myself after a bit of instruction from our intel here. Once I've shared what I've learned with the others, we should have no trouble keeping the shoreline clear. Good lad. A fine young man you become, Wiskar. A fine young man indeed. Too often of late, I hear tales of folk over in the city drunk on victory and hungry for revenge, their heads stuck firmly in the past. But we need to set our sights in the future, on things which will improve our lot. Things like getting the Sultry ready to welcome our long-lost countrymen. Granddad and his friends are already hard at work. The rest of us can do no less, eh? It'd be nice to have some resistance lads and lasses around to watch over us. No one wants to worry about being dragged into the lock while you're just trying to get an honest day's work done. It seems Wiskar has the Sultry's security well in hand. I, meanwhile, have discussed the next steps with Master Wat and completed my inspection of the site. With a little work, the vacant buildings here could be made into very presentable dwellings. Message from General Aldin. Apologies for the interruption, sir, but the General would speak with you at your earliest convenience. Do not feel obliged to wait around on my account. I will remain here to hammer out the finer details with Wat, and act as an intermediary with our business partners in Ul'dah. You should go. General Aldin asks that you wait for him by the main gate in the Ala Mhigo corner. My apologies again, sir. Fare you well. I'll ask Commander Hex to assign a squad to patrol the Sultry's harvesting and fishing spots, and I'll be sure to tell them what you told me. That elf knows a bright lad, isn't he? I told him what we'd need to repair the place, and he tallied up the total costs on the spot. It weren't a small number either. Pray leave the administrative tasks to me. General Aldin will be waiting.
Apologies for the wait. People are screaming for the butcher's blood again. No sooner have we broken up one mob than another forms. Thankfully, all have been amenable to reason, thus far. But it is no concern of yours. We must speak of the men Arenvald and his comrades apprehended in the peaks.
By their uniforms, the captives were first judged to be Imperial troops. But after further investigation, their true identities came to light. I dare say you remember Yuyuhasi and Laurentius,
all those fuckers.
the fugitives who conspired with Captain Ilberd in the Crystal Brave's betrayal. Aye, well, it would seem they followed him all the way to the wall. It was they who orchestrated the slaughter of the resistance fighters prior to the Griffin's infernal ritual.
Were it in your hands, how would you punish these men?
Throw them into the fucking sea. Throw them into the fucking sea.
Hear, hear. There is no more fitting sentence for the perpetrators of such a massacre, and that is but one of their crimes. In any event, I thank you for your honesty. When the time comes for the Alliance to pass judgment, I'll see that your opinion is heard. Well, that concludes our business here. But there is more, I would say. Walk with me.
Fucking Crystal Brave. Oh, and you got the fucking Huron dude. It's like, yeah, we're gonna give you a fucking second chance. The first thing you're gonna do is immediately stab us in the back again.
Atrocities. Had I openly supported the cause of Ala Mhigo liberation, he might not have felt driven to do what he did. Things could have been different, and I'm sorry they aren't. But even after all that has happened, my homeland is free. With the Scions and the Alliance at their side, my countrymen have reclaimed what many thought lost forever. Under her new leadership, I have every confidence that Ala Mhigo will emerge from the shadow of the Empire and rise once more to greatness. Which means my work here is done. Soon, I will return to Ul'dah and take my place at the Sultana's side.
Father...
I'll not deny there's a part of me that wants to stay. The same part that contemplated renouncing my rank and joining you as a wandering sellsword. But I pledged my blade to Nanamo, and I will not betray that oath.
Is this truly what you want, Father?
It is. Ever has my sword been hers to command, and ever shall it remain. Thank you for lending an ear. When all the rest are clamoring for me to stay, I trust you'll send me on my way.
It just occurred to me how uncomfortable the grip on that sword must be. Look at it, man. This goes for a lot of weapons in this game, actually. The samurai is largely safe from it. Like, give me a second. Look at the grip on that. That's got to be hell to hold. Like, look at how intense those ridges are. Arenvald, surely yours, like this is a reasonable amount of ridging, right? It helps with grip. It's good, right? They exist. They're not overpronounced. There's a full inch of difference between the peaks and the valleys on this. Dear Lord. I cannot think of more than like 3 examples of a samurai sword that isn't like a functionally shaped. Like if you made an exact replica of this weapon, it could be a functional katana. I cannot say the same thing for over 90% of every other weapon that can be realistically remade with, like, you know, every machinist gun is way too thick and bulky and you would not be able to hold it that way. Almost very, very nearly every paladin sword is wider than like you could row a fucking boat with it. Say, every single Dark Knight sword, except for a very small handful, would be so heavy that actively using them would be physically impossible without, like, breaking your back, literally. So on and so forth, right? It's just that, like, the katanas for samurai are always, very, very nearly always, like, reasonably shaped swords. And, you know, of course, there are exceptions to this. Like, the revolver-looking things that machinists can get, those are reasonable. If you actually made those, they would be, like, okay. There's a handful of great swords that are, like, okay. Still not great. A little thick, but not terrible. Hell, I would say that Pippin's sword is okay. A little thick, but not horrible. And of course, like, this is a completely reasonable sword. It could have a guard. Our guard would be neat, but, you know, he uses a shield, so that makes up for it a little bit. Well, that's more of a buckler than a shield, but, you know, regardless. I was just on my way to the sultry. It's lucky I saw you. Arnvold seems flustered. Something is amiss. Oh no. That took longer than I intended, but at least you know where I stand. Now that that's settled, Arnvold, what news? We may have a problem, sir. A group of Ananta has arrived at the main gates, and I don't mean the Vira. These are Quailana, the ones that summoned the Primal. They're insisting they be allowed to attend the council. Lisa's trying to reason with them, but she may need help. And an invitation was extended to all the native beast tribes, but we assumed the Quailana would refuse out of hand. We had best go and see for ourselves. Pippin, you take command of our forces and be ready for battle. Arntel, you've dealt with these Quailana before. I'd have you at my side. In fact, I can demonstrate my point quite well. So this sword isn't... Actually, you know what? Because I have a taste for these things, I'm going to imagine that most of my weapons aren't horrible. This Dark Knight would be way too heavy. This would probably be usable, vaguely speaking. Way too big. Magic casters don't count. Fine. Literally doesn't have a weapon. They are the weapon, so fine. I actually said my piece on how, like, you're technically holding them wrong if they're going to be, like, effective cutting implements, but these are fine. Caster. Actually, you know what? The majority of Red Mage weapons are okay rapiers. So, there's that at least. Too big for one hand, could probably work with two. Do I even need to say anything? I don't know enough about chakrams, and I'm gonna say no. Scythes in general are a terrible idea for a melee weapon, but they sure are cool. Anyway, there we go. I could spend like a day just picking apart all the weapons on the market board, but I will spare us all. I will spare us all that extremely boring 15-hour long stream. And you know, the very important note, it's a fantasy game with fantasy materials, with people who can hurl fireballs around, so realism really isn't an actual concern. If I can punch a dragon to death, I'm pretty sure realism has left the equation. Arntel, Raban, gods, it's good to see you. Ah, the Slayer has come. We have not forgotten how you sinned against the Lady of Bliss, but we did not come here to shed blood. You claim to seek harmony with all who call Girbania home. If this is truly your wish, you will welcome us as envoys of the Ananta. It is our wish, and you are welcome, but we cannot condone the summoning of primals. If you want to enter the palace, I must ask that you first surrender any crystal jewelry. Any crystal jewelry. You have my word that it will all be returned to you when the meeting is over. We will do as you ask, but you will not have our weapons. We are not so foolish as to place ourselves entirely at the mercy of our tormentors. I reckon that's the closest we're going to get to a compromise, and we will have people standing guard. Aye, let them keep their swords. Then we have an agreement. Lead the way to your meeting chamber. This is the big moment I wanted to get to. Hey-oh. Oh. Why do I have the feeling we've welcomed a viper into our midst? Well, they are snake people, so... Turning the Quelana away now might have made a mockery of Lisa's promise to give everyone a say. She couldn't not let them in. This Quelana elder's intentions seem at odds with all we know of her tribe. What think you, Arntel? Mayhap even the enthralled can learn to compromise. You believe an understanding can be reached. It is not entirely unheard of, I suppose. Those who followed Saint Shiva eventually sought reconciliation with Ishgard. Whatever the truth, I would take no chances. The guard must be strengthened, ideally with people who know a thing or two about primals. Can we rely on the Scions? I'll round up our comrades and send them to the Ala Mhigo quarter. You can go ahead if you like, Arntel. My thanks. I will see you in the palace. I'm going to teleport, because I cannot be asked. Arntel, I've brought reinforcements. Arnvold told me of the arrival of our unexpected guests, and I agreed that it would be prudent to call upon Ystrolla and Thancred as well. One can never be too careful when dealing with the enthralled. I am not familiar with the Quelana tribe itself, but Elieze's report suggested that they shunned contact with other races, despised it, in fact, even compared to other Ananta. Indeed, this apparent reversal in attitudes is most curious. No one expected a response to our invitation, much less an envoy, and I imagine Lise was forced to make some rather hasty arrangements in order to accommodate them. Speaking of which, how should we deploy ourselves? If the meeting is to be held in the throne room, it would seem wise to have eyes both inside and outside the palace. Ystrolla and I can stand guard without. That leaves the three of you to keep watch over proceedings in the throne room itself. Understood. We should join General Aldin inside them. Arntel, do you know of the rear entrance to the palace? It's on the eastern edge of the city, at the top of the stairs. The guards there should have been instructed to let us pass. As fortune would have it, I was visiting Ralgar's Reach to look in on Alize. She sends her regards. Leave external security to us, Arndel. I scouted around the palace quite extensively while I was searching for Kryl, so I know the lay of the land. The rear entrance to the palace is just up these steps. The guard should wave us through. If we could somehow come to an understanding with the Quilana, it would represent a great step towards resolving the primal dilemma in Ala Mhigo. I only hope they are sincere in their intentions. You are with the Scions, sir. General Alden left orders that you were to be escorted inside, if you follow me.
Thank you all for coming. I am Lys Hext, and I speak for the Resistance. Among you are village elders, refugee leaders, envoys from the Ananta and the Kikern.
I've not been pronouncing that correctly.
You've come from every corner of Girabania to help decide the future of Ala Mhigo. But before that, I want to ask you a question. What was the first thing you noticed when you came in? For me, it was that empty throne. It has no one to sit on it now. No viceroy, no king. Would any of you like to take their place? Or should someone else sit there? Then let's sit here in a circle, as equals, and I hope, as friends.
Expertly done. Lys has removed monarchy as a choice early in the game, and positioned them to consider a joint government. All things considered, I would say events have got off to a fine start.
I'm sure nothing will go wrong, and everything will go exactly as planned.
And that is Alagana's stance on the matter.
Thank you, Ravenford. Another vote in favor. Next, let's hear from Shanti of the Kalyana. Tell us, how do your people feel about the idea of a republic?
The Ananta wish only that those who dwell within Girabania devote themselves to our faith. You shall all worship Sri Lakshmi!
I don't wanna. I'm good. Thanks, though. Appreciate the offer.
Lady of bliss, grace us once more with your beauteous visage!
Oh no! No one could have seen this coming.
No crystals were allowed through the door!
We can worry about the how of it later. We need to evacuate these people right now, or the Primal will make thralls of them all.
And Lys included. She does not have the echo. Yup, we're the only two in here with the echo. And the echo was totally what stops us it's totally what stops us from being tempered, 100%. Run, you fool! Rematch against Shri Lakshmi.
God damn it! The guards were already turned! Fools!
No, you don't!
The Kalyana would see us all enthralled.
Then they're going to be sorely disappointed. We have the Warrior of Light and Arenvald to shield us.
Aye, but they can't well defend your guests and attack the Primal, can they? We're stuck on the back foot.
All right, I think I have an idea. Keep these people safe, General. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Whatever she's about, she'd best make it quick.
Ah! Hit the window screen.
Come then. Who will be next to die on my steel?
Ooh, I can talk to people. Oh, I'm sorry, I can talk to person. Leave the underlings to me. You have a primal fight. No, I'm good. I'll not fall here. Do I fight or I come in peace? I leave in pieces. That's pretty good. Like that. Of all the places to die. Damn the Kalyana. We must protect the envoys. I guess he doesn't have anything to say. What about you? Bah, this spear will have to do. Bout, save me? Are you Bout? Are you Bout? What the hells? Yeah, I recognize you. What about you guys? You guys got anything to say? It's her, the goddess herself. You should say the exact same thing. I'm satisfied. Let's go. How do we fight her without leaving our allies wide open? We can't stay on the back foot forever. No, damn it! If I think like this, we've already lost. I have the Warrior of Light at my side. We can do this. Isn't that right, Arntel? Okay, you focus on catching the spheres. I will damage the boss. Except what's actually going to happen is I'm going to have to do both. So. Got it. Should do an Arenvald.
I offer you peace and serenity.
Look at that. It's an AoE. No, you don't. No, you don't. Get it? Gotta get the dot back on. Okay, that's a bit much. Really wishing I was playing Bard to that now.
I shall free you from your hate.
I'm good, thanks. Thanks. Oh, flirt. Stop. Stop. No. There we go. I tried. It's a lot of orbs.
Damn it all! It's only a matter of time before we miss one.
I hate to agree with Arnwald about this, but here we are. I forgot that this happened.
What of it? Do you want to kill this thing or not?
Uh-oh, I'm making it worse. Uh-oh. Lock her down if you can. Quickly now, what will the primal release? Yes, what is happening? I can't run away from this. They need us. At least I do not recommend trying to fight the primal. No, I really don't think you guys should be staying here. What could possibly go wrong? I don't know, we're doing pretty okay on our own. We just kind of need you guys to not be around to get fucking tempered. I got this. Let me out! It's almost like having people who can be tempered around is a liability.
Do not your souls weigh heavy?
No, I'm good. Thanks, Rob. I'm feeling fine. I have the highest DPS here. I will be the one sticking to the boss. Thank you very much. Thank you for the LB release. Appreciate it. There we go.
We did it! We beat her!
What is this?
I'm only gonna say this once. The Ananta just summoned their primal in the throne room. My friends are fighting her, but they need help. They need someone with the Echo, and by the gods, I wish I had it, but I don't. I told you before that you still had time, but things have changed. I need your answer now. You can end it like Xenos, or you can fight for Ala Mhigo. Your choice.
Seven hells. It's her, the Butcher.
hang on. Why are we privy to all of this one? He's not scanning us.
It's done. Take me back to my cell.
You are not forgiven. Not you. You I will never forgive. But I will thank you. For standing against a primal and saving us from servitude. You have my thanks.
Ah, that was unlike any battle I've ever seen. I'm not entirely sure how I survived it, to be honest. One wrong step and I would have lost my will to that fiend for the rest of my days. 'Tis a sobering thought. Then why'd you fucking stay? Lise is certainly living up to her own ideal. Not every commander would choose to enlist a former enemy's aid in battle. I think I shall make a habit of checking for primal influence before our meetings from now on. We encountered our fair share of enthralled outside the palace, enough to delay us from lending you a timely hand, I'm afraid. My thanks, I'd thought myself done for. Anyone else want to say anything? They disgrace all Ananta. What about you, I've already forgotten how to correctly pronounce it. Shit. Oh well, I'll get over it. Saved by the butcher, the bloody butcher. I was ill-prepared for such a meeting. That was a right something or other. Want to say it again? That was a right mess, eh? Well fought, Arnvold. That was a near thing. Aye, our stand against the Kalyana would have been brief indeed had you not volunteered for guard duty. We'd be enthralled as surely as our sentries were. They must have planned this far in advance. Security was my responsibility, and I know how dangerous primals can be. I should have... God, it's my fault. My stupid mistake. Nay, alas. We were all caught unawares. You will take this as a lesson and watch our own more carefully in the future. You can be sure that the lackeys who smuggled the crystals into the throne room weren't the only thralls in our ranks. The soldier who first spoke up in favor of the Quelana keeping their weapons springs to mind. A primal servant is betrayed by his aura. If you mean to conduct an investigation, I can identify any others acting under Sri Lakshmi's influence. Thanks, Yashoa. We'd appreciate the help. Speaking of help, I almost fell over when Fredola turned up. What was she even doing there? I asked her to come. I mean, I could have relayed that, fair enough. Well, that explains it then. It's sad, but Ragnfrid was right. Her victims will never forgive her for what she's done. But I don't think Fredola picked up that sword looking for forgiveness. She just wanted to fight for her country. If you say the world in which Fredola grew up is partly to blame for what she became, then as an Ala Mhigan, I feel responsible for improving that world. We can't ignore what's happening right now. We have to show people a better way than vengeance, or we risk giving birth to a new generation of skulls. I know it's idealistic, but I want to help people to let go of their old grievances and make peace with each other. And I'll hold 1,000 meetings, and I'll talk till I'm blue in the face if that's what it takes. It is a long and arduous path you have chosen, but one well worth walking. Rest assured that I will do what I can to help you reach your destination. Thank you, Alphino. The first step will be to get our representatives back in the throne. They're a little shaken, but not one of them seemed ready to run. We're all determined to finish what we started. And we'll see that you are not interrupted, Arntel. You and the Scions are to stand down. Get some rest. You've earned it.
A fine spot to contemplate the heavens. The meeting is over. The envoys have chosen to instate a government model on Ishgard's House of Commons, a ruling body of representatives elected by the people. It is a fair decision, and one which signals the end of my part in all this. But I would gaze upon Girabania's stars one last time before I leave.
Alamo. Hello there.
Forget something?
How could you mistake Nanamo's footsteps for mine?
Your Grace.
I'm like
there was no word.
7 feet tall in reasonably heavy armor, compared to Nanamo in royal garments, who is a Lalafell.
Rabon Aldin, you are hereby dismissed as General of the Immortal Flames and relieved of
Must
your
be.
seat on the Syndicate.
I do have ninja level, so you know what? Fair point.
But, Your Grace.
Rabon,
Meanwhile,
I am no longer a child.
Nanamo stomps everywhere. It's the only explanation.
Stay here in your homeland. Work with your brethren. Rebuild Ala Mhigo.
You desire to stand alone. I understand, but remember what happened.
I remember full well the consequences of my naivety, and thus did I consult at length with a most trusted advisor ere I embarked upon this course.
A most trusted advisor? And what of me? Am I no longer deserving of your confidence?
What trust can there be between us when you withhold the truth from me? Did you think me oblivious to the anguish in your eyes when you spoke of returning to Uldar? For years and years, we have trusted one another. Yet now you refuse to confess your heart's desire?
I swore an oath to you that day on the sands. I pledged my sword.
And it has served me well. But in Pippin you have forged a new sword, as sharp and deadly as the blade you bequeathed him. I will show you a Sultana who can wield every weapon at her disposal, including Lolorito and his monetarist cronies.
Honestly, though? Honestly? Same.
So follow your heart.
But you wouldn't be in combat, so you would survive with exactly 1 HP. It'd be fine.
None more.
Smile for me, Raubon. I would have this parting be a joyous one.
Thank you, Your Grace. It has been an honor to serve you and Ulda.
Tomorrow you will serve Ala Mhigo and fight for the good of all Eorzea. Am I understood?
Yes, Your Grace.
But I do think that that is a pretty good place to wrap things up for today. We got through the major event I wanted to reach today. Today. So, I want to thank everyone for stopping by who did. I really appreciate you being here. And to those who chatted who did, I really appreciate you being here too. And until I stream again, have a good one all.